Hi, in this video we'll be learning how to do web design using Figma. So if that's something you'd like to learn how to do, then watch this video. Okay, so first you'll need to create an account with Figma. So you can do that by just clicking get started on figma.com, and then you can just register for an account. Okay, so we'll be designing a website for a fake plumbing company called Super Plumbers. So it'll just have a main header here, just a hero section with a call to action and the text, an about section, services services section, and then just a contact form, and then just a footer. So let's get started with setting up a new design on Figma. Okay, so what you'd want to do is, if you're already in the home section, is just click new file, new design file. Okay, and then we're just gonna name it Figma tutorial. Okay, so first we'll need a canvas. So to do that, you want to go to frame and select frame, and then you want to go to desktop, like so. Okay, so now we can compare our two designs. So first we'll need the header and the footer. So to that, we can just go here and go to rectangle. So just take the shape here and just drag it all the way to the end there. And then on Mac, you can click Option, and on Windows, you can click Alt. And if you hold it down and select, you'll create an exact copy. Okay. So here's our header and footer. And let's just make it the same color. So what's the color here? Menu. Okay, so the color is hex code 454488. So copy that. And here under fill, we'll just paste that. Click enter. And over here in the footer as well. So for colors that you'll be using often, you can add it to like your color theme. So to do that, you just want to click these four dots here, and then click color style and add, and this we'll just call it primary color. Okay, so now we have that. And you can also, on the left hand side here, you can change the name to make it like a label. So this is like header, footer. Okay, so next let's make this section here. Let's just make the placeholders for all these sections. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 main page sections along with the header and the footer. Okay, so to increase the height, you want to click on your canvas, and you see here on the H, you can just scroll here. But as you see, as you move, increase the y-axis height, the footer doesn't move along with it. And since the footer should always stay on the bottom, what we can do is just add it as a constraint. So what you want to do is just move it back to the bottom and just constrain it to bottom. So now watch. When we click the canvas again and we continue to increase the height, then the footer stays in place. Great. Okay, so let's add the four sections. So first the hero image. Yeah, something like that. And we'll just need to increase the height a little bit more. Okay, so the about us section, so we have a text block here and then just a small image. And then the services is 3 image sections. And then the contact form. Okay, so again, some more rectangles. And you see when you drag, these red lines come up, so that just helps with your alignment. So it's just for the text box. And then another one for the image. Okay, we'll need to, and to zoom out, you can just hold Command and scroll the wheel back so you can see the full picture. This is the hand tool. You can just drag it around. Okay, let's increase the height a little bit more. Okay. So back on the select tool, let's just make everything just a bit smaller, actually. Yeah, this section is fine. Just these ones, I think, can be a bit smaller. Okay, and again, we're going to copy this. We're going to do it 3 times for the services section. Okay, so they're a little bit big, so just make them all a bit smaller. Again, the same size. We'll just delete this one and then just copy this one over. Okay, great. Yep, so that's looking good. And then just the final section. Oops. Just click the whole thing again. Okay, and then just the contact form. Okay, great. So this is like the skeleton of the website. So this is kind of how you would just map out the website. So you can kind of see how the spacing will look before you add the content and the text. So again, just make sure everything's kind of in line. Okay, so next we'll work on adding text. So we'll start with the header and the footer, and then we'll work our way through each of these sections. Okay, so now we're going to play with this text tool here. So we're going to create the logo first. So put that over here. And then what did we have on the main site? We have it at 32 bold Futura font. So let's do that. 32 bold Futura. Okay, and then we're going to write super plumbers. And then what's the coloring? The red is in super. Come here, go to the red. There we go. And again, we're going to add this as a primary color. Let's name it secondary, I mean. Okay, so it's a bit not centered, so we can close the container a little bit and just make sure it's centered. Okay, you see it's right aligned with the hero banner. Okay, so that's good. Now let's work on the menu section. So let me just zoom in here a little bit. We have these 5 links. Okay, so again, just with the text, let's just start with 1 and then we can just duplicate it. So home. Let's check out the styling for each one. So it's 20 and medium. Medium. Okay, let me zoom in here a little bit. Again, forgot to highlight it, so 20 and medium. Okay. And again, shorten the container a little bit. And check how that looks. Yep. Okay. So now we're gonna hold down Option or Alt, and we're gonna duplicate this 4 more times. And then I'll show you how to align them all together after. So this one is about. This one is services. So we just need to adjust that after. Blog, and then contact. Okay, so just the ones that are a bit longer, just adjust the sizing. Okay, so now what you want to do is hold down Command and Shift and hold all of the links, and then what you want to do is click Shift A, and there you go. It's added into a auto layout frame. You can adjust the spacing here, and everything is properly aligned. So let's just zoom out so it lines up with the logo. Okay, yep, so let's just keep it like this. Okay. And again, let's just name this as main menu. Okay, great. Now the header is done. Let's just add it, put it together into a group. So we're gonna select, including the background, and then we're gonna group selection. Okay, so now that it's in the group, it just keeps it more organized. So we can just call this header. Yeah, let's just change the other background because it's not really the header. It's like header background. Okay, great. So now you can keep everything more organized by keeping your components in groups. And then we can just click lock so that we can't adjust any of these elements. Okay, so next let's work on this hero image here. So first we're gonna add the background image. So to that you just want to go to the fill from solid to image, and then we're gonna go to unsplash and get some images. Okay, so here on Unsplash, we're just gonna search for plumbers, just to find some images. Plumbing, and it's this one here is the one that I'm using. So just click download. Okay, so once you have that, we can go back to Figma. Okay, so back here on Figma, you want to go to choose image, and then we're going to add that image we just downloaded. Okay, so if you want to just adjust the container to show more of the image, you can just drag the top and the bottom here. So let's just adjust these sections, just move them down a little bit. So you can drag them all actually and just move them down like this, just so we have more space to work with. Okay, so now back here, we can add the title and the button. So it's just one title. And let's check what we have. Toronto's best plumber, and it's size 48 bold and color red. Okay, so let's do that. Color red. Actually, we can use our secondary color here. So we can reuse the same one. So, and what was it? 48, right? Yeah, 48. Toronto's best plumbers. We get the job done right. Yeah, it looks good. And I think there's even a little shadow effect, so we can do that over here, like drop shadow. And just to make sure it's centered, you can click this right here, just the centering. Okay. And then on the actual container, oops, click the actual container, and then we can center it up here. There we go. Okay, so underneath, we're gonna add a button. So again, a text container. Then inside it's gonna say get a quote. Okay, so it's in lowercase actually. So get a quote. And then the color is white. So just change the font to white. And then we're gonna add, along the container, we're just gonna add a fill. So to do that, what you wanna do is make this an auto layout element. So what you wanna do is click Shift A, and that will allow us to add a fill. So there we go, adding a fill. And this one was under the family again and just red like this. And then we're just gonna round off the corners under corner radius and just do just like curve. Great, and then just center the text. Yep. So there's just a little bit of padding on the left and right. Oops. Just make sure you're clicking the right element. And then let's just make this lined up in the middle. Then you can click center here. And this one center. Okay, so that's done for the hero section. Let's move on to the about section. Okay, so first you wanna add a title. So again, let's just group these elements here. Then click group selection. And then we can call this hero. Okay, so let's just move this section up over, just so it's all in order, and we'll just lock that in. Okay, so next for the about section, just move it down a little bit and then add another text component. Let's see what we had. Okay, so 32 bold. About us, and then the text color is primary. Yep, okay. Okay, so let's just close up the container a little bit. And then we're gonna center this element just like so. Okay, let's just duplicate this and add it to the other sections here. So this will be the services, then this will be the contact. And again, just make sure they're centered. Okay. Yeah, so I changed it a bit, so just clean it up. And then the services as well. And then just make it centered again. Okay, so that's good for the titles. So now let's work on the about us section. So again, we're gonna get an image from Unsplash for this section. Okay, so back on Unsplash, it's this image right here. So we search plumbing, so we can just download this one. And then we can import it into Figma. Okay, so back in Figma, we're gonna select this container and change the fill from solid to image. And then we're gonna upload the image. Okay, so this is good. And then this is just gonna be text. So we can just remove this actually and just replace it with a text box. So just put in some lorem text. Now just copy this to the end. And then just make the text a bit smaller. Yeah, and not bold. and just change the color to a lighter color so it's just easier on the eye. So we'll use a gray, like a black, but like a lighter tone. Yep, so this one looks good. Again, let's just add some spacing just to make it easier to read. Okay, just make it a little bit bigger, I think, to like 20. Yeah, 20 looks good. And just remove the extra text here. Okay. Okay, great. Yep, so the About Us section is done. Let's just check out the other side section. Let's see, what did I use here? Yeah, so the font I use 16 and medium as well. Yep, so it's about the same, 20 and medium, but this one has less content. Okay, so next let's do the services section here. So again, it's just these 3 images and then 3 text links. Okay, so let's go back on Unsplash. Okay, so back here on Unsplash, we're going to search toilet. Okay, and then which one did we use? Yep, we use this one right here, so just download this one. Okay, so next we're going to get a faucet. Yeah, so we use this one here. And then lastly, you're just going to get a bathtub. Yep, and it was this one here. Okay, so let's get back on Figma and then we can import these images. Okay, so back on here on Figma, again, we're going to change this in from a solid to a fill to an image. And this one is the toilet. Okay, this one, same thing. Solid to image. This one is the faucet. And lastly, this one is the bathtub. Okay, great. Okay, so let's just add some title links under each image. So let's just check our reference. This one is 24 medium. Toilet plumbing. Let's change 24. Oops, forgot to highlight. So again, 24 and then center. Okay, yep, so that looks good. Just make this a bit smaller and then we're gonna hold Option or Alt and then just copy it to the other ones here. Faucet plumbing and then bathtub plumbing. Okay, great. And again, let's just add these into a section. So again, hold Command and Shift. Okay, and then click group selection. And then this one is about. So we can just move that under the hero section here. And then this, we'll group it as well before we move on to the contact page. Let's get all the links and images. Okay, just so it's a lot cleaner. This one here, main menu. Yep, so that's part of the frame actually, so we can just add that into the header here. Okay, great. Lastly is the contact form and then the footer. So we'll do that now. Okay, so we have a blue background with get a free estimate. So we have just a main title, get a free estimate, and then 4 boxes, and then a submit button. Okay, so let's do that now. Just make this a little bit smaller, like the design. Then change the fill. Go here to primary. And then again, we need a text. Go to text. Get a free estimate. This is what I believe it is. Now let's check the color bold, 32. Okay, put it in the center. Again, the red coloring. Okay, just make sure it's in the center of this container. And even both of these image, we can just center it in the document. Okay, so yeah, it's centered. Okay, so next is just 4 boxes. So they're cut. Yeah, just 4 gray boxes. And just gonna hold Option and scroll down. And the last one is just a little bit bigger because it's a messages box. And then just a text button here that says submit. And then we're just gonna auto layout this one, just Shift A. Just so we can add a background color. So I think the text is a bit big, so this one should be, I think, 20. What is it on design? Yeah, 16. Okay, so just add some spacing around this button here. The button is red and then the text is white. Okay, so we're just gonna center the text. Okay, so move that to the center. And then we're going to update the color over here into fill. And then we're going to change the fill to secondary red. Okay, yep, so that looks good. Just make some more space. Oops. Click the button. Yeah, just make sure it's aligned and centered. Yeah, we'll just need a little bit more spacing. Yeah, okay, so that looks good. Just add some more spacing before the footer. Okay, great. Okay, so lastly, we're just going to add some text in each box, just as a placeholder. This is first name. And what did we have it in the design? It's just a 16 and a medium stroke. Okay. Medium and 16. And I think the color is like a gray as well. Yeah. Okay, so let's just copy this. Hold Option or Alt. Alright, so that's what we had. Okay, so we had not last name, just... Okay, we'll just make this phone number. Okay. Yep, so just make sure it's all aligned. You can even use the arrows to like fine tune the alignment. The arrow keys. Yep, so this looks good. And just lastly is the footer, which is just a copyright. Okay, great, and just make sure it's centered. Okay, so this is the final design. And again, I forgot to group the contact form, so let's just do that as well. And then this is contact. And put the contact text inside as well. Then just move it under services. Yep, and this we forgot. Just put it in about. And the footer is its own section. Actually, these two elements are part of the footer. So we can group that as well and just name it footer. What is this one? Yep. So this one can go in about. Okay, great. And just lock everything down. So this is the design that we were able to come up with during this tutorial. If you want to share this, you can just click share, and then you can share the link or just invite people through email so they can look at the design and even make collaborations. And then if you want to export it as a PDF, you just want to go to File, and then Export Frame to PDF, and then share your designs through that way also. So this concludes the end of the video. I hope you're able to create awesome web designs using Figma. Please like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you're interested in having your company's web design done by my business Maplet Media, then please click the link in the description. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.